Alright, at long last we're back on the main story. It's been a while. I kind of forgot where we were a little bit because it was like 30 hours ago. Through Death's Gate, the Acolyte's vision shows me mysterious ruins somewhere outside Dyrford. Blood and Clîaban operatives to find the site, though their purposes are unknown to me. Yeah. I finally reached Dyrford village. It's a sleepy little backwater, but there's got to be someone here who's familiar with the ruins. Oh, the ruins, you say? The ones I was just at?
So, do you have feathers everywhere?
It's Josie.
You know, does your tiara match your tail feathers?
We're about to find out if your viscera match your fur.
Forget I said anything. I rather value my viscera.
Oh, Herovis is so sleazy, but it's so enjoyable. In a non-durance kind of way. I think it's mostly just because he's kind of funny. Or it might because we went from 0 to I'm gonna turn into a Stalgar and then go to a whorehouse where I'm like, oh, okay, we're fully realizing this concept here. I see.
Good day, stranger.
You know what? I would like to see what rooms you have. Why not? Might, Constitution, 10% damage against. What does that say? I don't know what that says. Burn damage reduction. These are really specific bonuses. I'm gonna get this one because I can read it. That only lasts for one rest though. Well, I'm not gonna fight a dragon, I don't think, so I'll get this one. And I'll find out what the buff is when I see the description. So I'm playing with increased font size because I think that's just better for all of us. It's more pleasant to read text when it's not tiny for me. And you guys get a compressed YouTube version, and some of you are watching these videos on portable devices with smaller screens, so I think the bigger text is all around better. Until moments like that.
Gods keep you.
This isn't even big text, honestly. Which is, makes me, I honestly can't imagine what the normal text looks like. Alright, so, who knows about ruins? First of all, who is a human? That isn't a fucking Kickstarter backer. Hey, Sid.
Good day to you.
Nope. She's even a history character and she doesn't know about the stuff. Wait. Her name is Sid. Isn't your name Sid? Wait, no, your name's Codex. Wait, but what was her real name? The Guild Codex Wiki. I bet she has her own wiki page. Yep, there's the Guild Wiki. Her name is Sid Sherman. I didn't imagine that. I knew there was some connection between Sid and the Guild. And there's a picture of Felicia Day from the Guild. Her name is Sid. It's spelled C-Y-D though, not S-I-D. But anyway, that minor curiosity is now behind us. Glad you could come along for the ride, everybody. Why, it's you. Thank you, friend. You've given me another chance, and I mean to make the most of it. I've been telling everyone around here about how you helped me. Cool. Glad things worked out for you. Don't remember who you are. Listen, I've spent a few dozen hours helping people. To that one time where I sacrificed somebody to an Adra dragon. Don't worry, it's totally gonna work out for me. Definitely not a horrible choice. Ah. The many faces of Berath and the moons of Aora. What does happen if I just steal these? Pagani's been caught stealing. Ooh. Ah, you lose reputation. Gotcha. I was wondering how that mechanic worked. Because it's all over the place. So I figured we're enough hours in that I should just test this already. In one of the more comical examples I can think of is in Divinity Original Sin 2. If anyone kind of even glimpses you sort of stealing, they murder you on the spot. Or try. They immediately try murdering you, and also they call the guards who keep trying to murder you. And it's like, it's a book. It's fine. Like, I'm sorry, but fuck. This is not worth it. Like, as somebody who has a bookshelf full of books, gotta say, it's very easy to get a lot of books for relatively cheap. They're just kind of around everywhere. I know, it's this old-timey fantasy setting where maybe making books was harder back then. Because it was, in reality. But, you know, at the same time, is murder? Is that the answer? I don't think that's the answer. Sounds like a big old waste of time to me. Especially when you could go to, like, indentured servitude instead. You're gonna have to work 7 years to work off that book you stole. Hope it was worth it. Hope it had all the card captors of the cloud. Expect the unexpected now. Hey, the sun's up. So, my go-to of going into an inn to solve the question of who knows where the thing in town is didn't really work out. So, we're just gonna check everyone who's still alive. I've killed a few people in this town, which does reduce the population a bit. So, that'll speed things up. And this building has no characters in it. You must gather your party before venturing forth. Maybe they'll be at the cathedral? Chapel? Whatever it's called. It would be a chapel, not a cathedral, I think. Temple. The Temple of Berath. Yeah, they sound religious-y. They probably know about the weird ruin that's like over there that I've already found, but I need to know the solution to how to open it. So someone's got to hand me the little token. Where's the token? You know, like from Jackie Chan Adventures, the hexagonal stone tokens that open things. There's a chicken one, and like a pig one, and other Chinese zodiacs that exist that I can totally remember right now. I used to love that show as a kid. I went back to watch one episode of it, and I couldn't handle Jade's voice acting because she was so irritating once I was no longer a child. I'm like, I can't believe she sounds like that.
Out with you! I already told you what... I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
Eder grunts in disgust. The times we live in.
How may I help you?
What happened to you?
I never saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins. Clîaban Rilag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
Was that where Eder's trying to go?
They wanted to know where Clîaban Rilag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
The old priest nods politely. Is there something else I can help you with? Can you tell me where to find the ruins?
The Glenfathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there.
They'll try.
And they'll retaliate against us, too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
He folds his arms and stares at you with one eye and a scowl. Hiravis, in this case. So this is where I say, go into the ruins and I'll kill you. And that's when you say, Hiravis, I'm a watcher and you're no match for all of us. And we've got a good reason for this. And then I give up trying to argue with you and leave you to dig your own trespasser's grave. And I'm only being half metaphoric. We sometimes make dear woodlands dig their own grave before we kill you. When the kids hear about it, it's a fabulous deterrent. Well, this is fun. I wish it was voiced by the voice actor because he would have done a good job. Because it's a good paragraph. A dangerous plot is unfolding there and I've got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Clîaban Rilag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
People say in town that the Hollowborn problem has been especially bad here. It has. Cities and villages all over Dyrford have seen the Hollowborn. But Dyrford hasn't seen a birth of an unaffected child in years. Most of our people have moved on to other villages in search of hope, and those who have stayed behind aren't the same. Children promise a future, you know. People change when you take that away from them. This is a temple of Berath. What can you tell me about Berath? Berath is the most universal of all the gods. It oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Berath, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Berath has many representations across time and across cultures. Around the Dyrwood, you'll commonly see it depicted as the Pallid Knight or the Usher. The Glenfathans, however, know it as Bunin I Anku and Anku I Bunin. Tell me about the Pallid Knight. She's one of the youngest manifestations of Berath, but a familiar one nonetheless. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armor with black eyes, black hair and milk-pale skin. She demands an impossible toll from travelers who have tarried too long in her lord's road. Some challenge her only to slay themselves in the process. Who's the Usher? Kith have written stories, songs, and poems about the Usher for centuries. Sometimes he's folk, sometimes dwarf, and sometimes merely a walking skeleton. He never speaks, but he guides the way to death and the new life. He also creates the circumstances for the wayward to stumble into their own graves. I've never heard of Bunin and Ankui Bunin. It means life and death in life, respectively. You see them as two skeletal figures, one male and one female. Explorers have found them carved opposite one another in doorways, but I know of no particular legends that speak of them. Thanks for the information. Of course, Berath was once more widely worshipped in this area, but it is a silent god. He smiles sadly. These days, people find themselves in need of clearer answers. Tell me about Dyrford. Folk here tend to keep to themselves, as they do in most towns this deep in the Dyrwood. They're suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area, who can blame them? Have I never talked to this guy before? Because that was like all new dialogue. Like, I guess I would expect the new dialogue that's contextual to what happened, but I'm surprised by it all being new. All right, I gotta add Dyrford to my list. There we go.
Did your father teach you to hunt?
No, that task fell to the tribe's huntmaster, though he tried everything in his power not to teach me.
Were you a difficult student?
No, the huntmaster felt that meadow fur was a sign of weakness. I could do nothing right by him on account of my hair color.
I'm familiar with the sentiment. From the Valine Republics to Glenfathan, narrowness of mind is truly universal.
People just have confusing judgments. Yeah, we have a lot of outcasts here. Except you. This character's not even vaguely an outcast. But you were outcast for your hair color twice, technically. One for your normal hair color was why you were you could never do well enough to impress people, but then you actually got the bad hair color of your form of your transformation, because you weren't. It wasn't even just that you're Stelgar. Your specific hair color was Stelgar. You're outcast from everybody's perception altogether.
I'm ready.
You were the one female godlike in your group and had to deal with that whole thing.
Hey.
And you are under persecution and we're on the verge of being hung to death. Hooray. Son of a bitch. Alright, well. Let's take this. I should be able to warp that way from here, right? Yeah, Dyrford Crossing. It's literally where I tried to go a minute ago. Clîaban Rilag. Up north. Go figure. That explains the weirdness of how there's such a really clear path going up here, but I couldn't do it for some reason. Now we know it's because I had to be sent there. But I guess that means that that one ruin to the south isn't related as much as I thought it was. That's another ruin. Yeah, Eder's brother, Woden, fought for Retsurus and died in the battle at Clîaban Rilag. Okay, I thought so. I thought that sounded familiar. It's the same place that we need to go for another character's companion quest. But no one knew where it was until now, even though it's a site of a battle? Like, in the main story, they're mystery ruins, but in my side story, it's the location of an important battle that you think would just be a location you could look up.
This is the place. My big brother's last battle. I wish I could tell you what we're looking for.
Eder scans the lush landscape before you in all directions. He presses his lips together.
Anything from that battle, I guess. Whatever 15 years of rain hasn't buried. You see my brother's ghost, you give me a holler, all right?
He winks.
Eyes open.
And here we are, for a few different reasons. Let's scrape up and down until we've explored it. Hello, probably enemies. Nope. Oh, they're the Glenfathans. They're not going to be happy to see us here. But they're green.
Not much here.
That means they're not instantly enemies. Oh, is that the only way forward?
Too recent.
Orland's Bramble Ring. Pierce damage reduction. Oh, we can cross the river. Not a huge map.
Hey, something metal in the ground. I think I see... No.
No, he talked over himself. Hey, something metal in the ground over by that boat. I think I see... Nope. Never mind. There's a boat? I never saw a boat. Oh, boat. I don't know how to reach the boat.
Those face painters can't guard that place forever.
Ah, their names are Looter and Looter. That doesn't bode well for you. Oh, we can just jump across.
These ruins are claimed, friend. On your way.
That's not... Yeah, it's claimed by the Glenfathans.
No need to get riled, boys. We're just passing by.
Look at his talisman, Pag. Eothasian.
How about that? A godless sack of shit. We got a blazing corpse worshiper on our hands.
Actually, they never found the body.
Eder fumes. He opens his mouth as if to say something, then closes it. He quickly replaces his frown with a polite smile.
Only reason for the legacy is because the Duke doesn't got the guts to see you all slaughtered. The gods want you dead. Me and Pag, though, we done our part during the purges, didn't we, Pag?
Oh, we're gonna kill the shit out of these people, aren't we?
Seamstresses?
Make your cracks now. Got no god or homeland to avenge you. By Magrin, this'll be short work.
Do you always swear by your gods when you do a devil's work?
Doesn't matter who it was for anyway. Country's better for the purges. Maybe we start a new purge right here.
He readies his weapon. Dude, there's 7 of us. These NPCs are so self-confident. Their confidence is ill-placed.
They were right. That was short work.
Weird idiots that just wanted to die for some reason. Ooh. The tip of some metal object protrudes from a mound of watery river silt. With both hands, you and Eder begin digging in the mud until the object is dislodged. You close your hand around it and pull it from the wet earth. The object is a steel, semicircular frame, about the size of your fist. At even points around the semicircle, jagged points jut out like tongues of flame, the rays of a rising sun. At the sun's center is a carved silhouette of a Vorl's plant.
I've seen these before. They top the standards of Raid Ceres. Or did when Weidman was alive. Well, it's something. Just not sure what it gets me.
Show it to Grieving Mother. Do you think you can help us? Look, I appreciate you taking the initiative, but I don't think there's much chance that this nice stranger lady happens to be a cipher. Eder. Huh. What relationship does... This is one of the upsides of having cutscenes in the more modern-ish version of like third-person 3D closer camera games with cutscenes and everything, is that you often in those games get to see other characters interact with each other sometimes instead of just me. What is everyone's relationship with Grieving Mother? Like, do they literally not see her or understand she's there and not know she's a cipher for all these hours? Huh. The Grieving Mother looks at you. I will do what I can, but I will need the skill of a watcher to aid my own, to identify the soul once I have found its traces. She turns to Eder, her hand outstretched. Eder hands her the steel sun. The motion is mechanical, unconscious. The Grieving Mother takes the sun in one hand and yours in the other, and you can feel her presence in your mind, her thoughts bidding you to relax. Focus, she says, and the word reverberates as if through an endless chasm. You close your eyes and concentrate. The sun is bright in your mind's eye, warm with the pulse of collective experience, and noisy with the thoughts of the past, of battle, of faith, of home. You drift from voice to voice, thought to thought. Eder's soul, a vibrant signature with which to locate his brother. One voice stands out amidst the din, brassy and earnest, a shade brighter than Eder's, but unmistakably of the same construction. You have no image of its owner, but his journey is imprinted within the points and curves of the steeled sun, and in your mind it opens before you as a path stretching both southward to Gilded Vale and northward over the uneven terrain that joins the Dyrwood to Redceres. You trace the path back to its origin, far back as you can find, gliding over plains and hillsides, to a one-room home in Gilded Vale with a thatched roof and a dirt floor. The path is faint here, its distance and time rendering images blurry and details scarce. From Gilded Vale, it follows a road toward Madmer Bridge, reaching the gates of Defiance Bay before diverting abruptly, cutting northward in a beeline for Redceres. The path leads to a Redceran city, regal and austere in the Eder imperial style. It winds through streets and climbs a grand set of stairs into a stately building, passing through pointed archways into what appears to be a throne room. Upon the throne sits a man whose head is pure, blinding light, and as its gaze turns to you, the light drowns out all else. Its voice carries the force of thunder, but its words are impossible to make out in the imprint. Echoes of echoes. The voice and light fade, and the path bends backward, carrying you along to a barracks, then back southward, marching into Dyrwood, and skirmishing along the way. Upon one battlefield, the imprint is vivid, and you see a Redceran standard topped with a steel sun, clutched in the hands of a fallen soldier. You see a young man in Redceran armor, with Eder's straw-colored hair, race toward the standard and lift it, the path you've been following clear to see beneath his feet, and as his hand brushes the steel tip, you can hear his thoughts racing in a blur, and thereof his god, and his country, and a brother he hopes is far away from this place. In an instant, the thoughts are gone, as well as the man, and the standard is passed to another soldier. You pick the path up again as it meanders south and disintegrates into the shadow of Clîaban Rilag. You open your eyes.
Anything? Looked like you were working real hard there.
Your brother got as far as Defiance Bay before turning to Retsaris instead. He met Wadwin there. Then he enlisted.
Well, what did he talk about with Widewin?
Widewin's head was a beam of light.
I figured that. Woden and me had heard enough stories from his uprising to know it wasn't just some tall tale. Doesn't mean he was Aethys. It could have been some wizard's trick. It's what they talked about that's important. What'd they say?
He also could have been a godlike, considering those exist. I don't know.
That's not funny. Come on. That metal sun, my brother touched it. You saw where he went. Now what'd he talk about with Widewin? Why'd my brother fight for Raed Saris?
I wish I had something better to tell you.
I guess that's it.
Eder's mouth hangs open and his eyes glaze. His forehead creased between his eyebrows. He rakes his teeth over his lower lip. His voice is barely a whisper. We'll find some other way to know why he did what he did.
I don't think we will. What will we do? Look for more war relics? We were lucky to find this one. Soldiers that fought with him are long dead. The battle was a massacre. Whatever Aethys knows, he's not talking to anyone.
We don't have to wait around anymore. I got what I needed. If only there were words to fill such emptiness. Better yet, to remove his doubt, his questions. I regret that my answers have only deepened his pain. Ah, quest completed. It's over. That's all that happens. Do I just jump the river or do I try talking to the elves? What could go wrong? And once again, I lost a lot of my taxes to bandits. Like at some point, I'm thinking like, why do we even? I guess I do get a lot of them, but it's like I'm paying so much to the bandits at this point. It feels bad to even tax at all. I'm just funding criminals. A man stands before you, his face smeared with green and ochred dyes. Hides and furs cover his body, and he holds a spear in one hand.
Tread carefully, Estramor.
Oh, I thought he was going to say the lion, but then he just didn't. He bears teeth that have been filed to defiant points. Back to your village, Estramor. You are lucky the 3 Tusk Stelgar hunt other quarry today. The 3 Tusk Stelgar? If not the toughest of the Glenfathan tribes, Nervus mutters from behind you, his voice kept low for just you to hear, the 3 Tusk are certainly the most belligerent and uncivilized. They tame Stelgars and ride them into battle, which tells you everything you need to know about their subtlety and self-preservation instincts. His snarling grin widens. Have the farmers grown too fearful to even mention our name? We are the fiercest of the 6 tribes of Glenfathan, and we are the guardians of the monument here. I'm looking for a group of people who may have already entered the ruin. So are we. He runs his thumb along the smooth wood of the spear. That is why we wait here, Estramor, and that is why I have decided to let you leave in peace. These individuals are my enemies, too. If you let me in, I could bring them out for you. He laughs. And allow even more Estramorn to trample through sacred ground? Certainly not. Never mind the fact that the ones inside are probably picking the place clean as we speak. What will you do? We will wait. If they are inside, they must come out. And when they do... He slides a fingertip along the point of the spear and shows you the drop of blood. Dude, we're outside. They could go in any direction. I mean, they can probably swim if they want to. What do you know about Clîaban Rilag? It is a sacred place of the builders, and neither your feet nor ours shall sully its stones. The grasses, however, He grins and hefts his spear. I will gladly water with your blood. I've never heard of the builders. He makes an exasperated clicking noise with his tongue. They are known by other names in the heathen tongues of farm folk. They are the ancients who built this place, and many more like it. And we of the 6 tribes guard their legacy. I'll be going. And do not come this way again. Aha. Well. Weren't you in line of sight when you took out these looters a moment ago? No? Alright. These guys were good. What the fuck? These guys were camping to loot this place in line of sight of these guys with a lit campfire. There's no cover here. They've just been plain line of sight. They were terrible looters. No wonder they died. They probably died against the 7 of us because they couldn't fucking count. A broken bridge lies before you. Most of it appears to have crumbled into the river centuries ago, leaving 2 jagged ledges on either side of the water. You see a yawning passage into the mountain on the other side. You might be able to jump across the gap. Yep. Sagani misjudges the gap and barely makes it across, spraining her wrist in the process. Sagani cannot catch a break. She's supposed to be the ranger of the party. How many wounds does she have? Minus 15 deflection. Oh right, I've rested at an inn, so the other thing that happened to her is gone. Ah, the 10% damage bonus is against beasts. I just remember, I forgot to check earlier. But now I know.
I'm here.
Ba-boom.
Yeah?
Yeah. I forgot to turn on her good at gunning mode.
Yeah.
Which I've already spent 2 points on, but then hadn't turned it on. I'm good at video games. So I guess that's why it was a pretty small map, is that it was just the entrance to this one dungeon. So somewhere in here we'll probably find the leaden key. And these druids have a terrible strategy for dealing with them. They're not necessarily druids. They're just Glenfathan. It's not the same thing. Pretty in here.
Let's go. Quick.
A bit of a strange system to be like, nobody's allowed to enter this building, but it's a building that was built, which usually buildings are built for people to be in them. A little strange when you build a building that no one's supposed to be in. Does it say level 1? It does say level 1. This is going to be a big one, apparently. They don't seem to be bothered by all the creatures that are in here, apparently. Oh well. There are a lot of religions in this game, and I can't expect to fully understand most of them. I'm gonna suck out your stat juices. Yummy. Oh, I'm full of your stats, and it doesn't matter, you're dead. Ooh. One-eyed Molina's gold-fingered spike flinger. Damn. So I caused more stun. Now I need to do 600 damage. It's currently exceptional. 15% chance to cast stun or prone.
Huh?
Spiderweb? I don't think we're going through that. And he is out of there. Oh, they're corrupted druids. Okay, we're good. I thought I was gonna get in trouble with the Glenfathans. I probably still will. This is the kind of trespass that usually ends with the people that are supposed to be hiding from showing up the exact moment I finish my goal. And they're like, you're not supposed to be in here. I'm like, no, see, I did this thing. It's okay now. And they either forgive me or they're like, it doesn't matter. Die. I've played video games. Hey there. That's how you do some damage.
Right.
You guys have volume 3 or whatever of the book I still can't find? Please. I'm about ready to go back to all the original zones and retrace my steps just to see where I must have missed whatever book I don't have. Oh yeah. I was able to find a configuration where if I run into that spot, everyone will hopefully get to fight something instead of bottlenecking at the door. Never could Picos accord with their chiefs. Can a people find order when sunset brings darkness, but never a map in the stars of the sky? Hey y'all. Y'all about to get stabbed. There we go. Wow. These are quick, clean kills. So how do they end up being corrupted druids? Are these Glenfathans that betray the orders to not go in here? And that's what happens to them, and that's why they don't want anyone coming in here? Never the spirit and always the flesh are people of lowered eyes. Or do they independently become corrupted elsewhere and then come here? No, I can't fix the confusion if the person who's confused is the guy who fixes confusion. It's a clear problem for me. Oh boy. Maybe fix that real quick. Our efforts are becoming a little divided here. Okay. Not quite what I was hoping for. I'm going to disintegrate you and you can't stop me. Yeah. Bad news for you. And now I shoot you. Well, that filled my meter right back up. I'm gonna add another damage over time. Oh, you're dead. Oh. Yep, turns out he's dead. I left Sagani up there, didn't I?
I'm here.
Double check your AI. Aggressive, aggressive, aggressive. Okay.
Yeah.
She seems to fall behind a lot. In a way that seems like it was less of a problem in the past. I see stairs icon, but which way? Oh, looks like it's like I think that's gonna go further down. So that's likely our goal. Lots of traps around here. Get it. There you go. Let's head back up here. This is almost certainly the way forward, but let's clear this floor. Because for all I know, the thing I said happens, where I get to the objective and then I get kicked out by the Glenfathans. So let's actually explore this floor before I get to the next one. Hasn't taken as long as I thought it might. It's a pretty spread out area. I'm not sure how to get over there though. Maybe I get there from the second floor? Maybe I go from second floor back up to the first floor? Nope, it's gonna be one of those times we get a little closed in. Oh, doesn't really matter though if they die that fast. Holy crap. Oh. Hey. All soulbound upgrades are completed. Wow. That was really fast 600 damage, by the way. 50% attack speed. And minus 50% reload speed.
Ready, Watcher.
That's not good. Wait. Oh, I've heard about this. This weapon's bugged. Yeah. Reload speed being a positive number is a good thing, and a negative number is a bad thing. So if it's negative reload speed, she's reloading slower. Whereas her swift aim increases, it makes her reload speed faster. So she's not supposed to be this. She's not supposed to get slower. I'll have to look into this. I'll have to back up my save though, just to make sure the mod doesn't break the game or something, because I'm a little iffy about modding this game. But yeah, I've heard about this. This is like a I've read threads about this where like she has the weapon's bugged out. Because if you look at its tree, it starts off with a positive reload speed, and then all of its stats keep getting better, and then for some reason out of nowhere its reload speed flips from positive to negative. And it's like, why would that happen as it gets better? Why would the weapon get worse? And it seems to be that there's just an error, which I can see how that happens, because reload speed is confusing. In general, talking about speed is confusing. So like,
Nothing is closed to the
when someone talks about
perceptive
speed going up or down, like, does a positive speed increase make something take longer or go faster? Like both interpretations happen constantly, and you end up with these semantic arguments where people are trying to have this fundamental disagreements about what they think that kind of stat even means. And so you could easily make that kind of mistake. Hungering always for nations and gold, they were ruthless and fearless. Ooh, Sura's supper plate. I get a lot of shields that are literally not shields, or they look like not, or they're called like something cute that's not a shield. Retaliation. Anyone who hits you takes a bit of damage. Not a full-on like return fire, but something. Stolen from the table of Ogre Matron Sura by Farron Dulka after he infiltrated her compound to assassinate her. Sura's supper plate became the assassin's running joke. In the moment of his triumph, Farron pulled the iron plate from under the matron's lifeless head and held it up like a shield, thinking himself quite clever. He took the plate and several of Sura's eating utensils to a local blacksmith and had a shield fashioned from them. The sharp blades protruding from the front of the shield proved an excellent deterrent against foes at close range, and Farron took to wielding it regularly until he lost his shield, his arm, and his life to Sura's daughter. Whoopsie! Tiny Animat. What? Whether experiment or accident, this miniature Animat seems to function normally despite its size. It blazes with soul energy. What the hell? Just a tiny, tiny pet. Pets are weird as a concept. Come charging into battle with me. Come. Owie. Stop it. How can the people of virtues resist the profane and lawless? Where can the elm dig its roots that the storms cannot wash them out? Where am I? Huh. Oh, he's patrolling. I was like, how did I miss this guy? He's just in the middle of the place I already went to. Whoop. Got that guy. Ah. And there we have the original door. And now we full on sprint. Go, 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 go. Look at him go. There's something kind of amusing about how they always end up in single file. Just because of how they have to navigate corners. Yep, there we go. Gotcha. Why don't we read a book? If I can ever remember where we are, basically. Ederan dialects. Yeah, I'll totally remember this. The sun does not set on the Ederan language. Those of us who commune with this proud language, or some derivation of it, populate every corner of Eora. Most of us who speak this wonderful tongue know it as Ederan, but scholars and those obsessed with correctness often qualify it as modern or contemporary Ederan. This is to contrast the language you and I speak today with Elderan, the old elven language that was spoken in the Ederan Empire back before the pioneer settlers of the Dyrford built their longships. If Elderan could be considered the mother of living Ederan, the language of Hillspeak could be seen as Ederan's cousin. Hillspeak is fading from common use, but many of the elves, especially the older one, in the Ederan heartland still use this dialect. Whether you know it or not, if you can read these words, you can understand Hillspeak. It is almost identical to Ederan, but includes a large vocabulary of archaic words that have fallen out of use in today's Ederan. When you hear bards sing old Ederan poems, there are often lines of chorus that sound like melodic nonsense inserted into complete rhymes. These are usually instances of words that are lost from our common language, but still used in Hillspeak. While Hillspeak is familiar to speakers of so-called modern Ederan, the same cannot be said of our language's predecessor. Elderan is a dead language, spoken by academics, but not used in any major community. Elderan words are often familiar to Ederan readers, but the words use orthography that has since been abandoned. Unfamiliar accents marks abound. For example, Elderan contains some diphthongs that have no place in the modern Ederan, as well as a few tricky consonant clusters. Ea creates an A sound. It sounds like the colloquial salutation heya. Ao, like Aothus. The sounds is still used in modern word Eora. A is pronounced as AE, which is in Wraith. Huh. Ue and U, both these create long U sounds, as in loop. That's the same U from German. Y sounds like an E, sounds is as in B. J sounds like the consonant Y, as in U. Why though? Oh my god, why? I'm never gonna remember that. SC sounds like sh, so you'd pronounce it like shop. CG sounds like the J end of hedge. Huh. It's not uncommon for given names of Ederans, Deerwoodens, and Redsurans to come from Elderan. Some examples: Aldwin is pronounced Aldween because of the long vowel sound on the Y. Durnisk is pronounced Durnish, since the final SC cluster sounds like an SH sound. Yet Yester is pronounced Yester on account of the GJ consonant cluster. Slekj is pronounced like sledge. Jesus Christ. Thirsk is pronounced Thiersch. It has the Y and the SC. I'm gonna lose my mind. Uskgrim is Ushgrim and not Uskgrim. Ingmar is pronounced Ingmar. Hey! Leading with the vowel sound. That part was obvious. I would have gotten that one all on my own. Boy. Into the garbage pile with you. Never to be spoken of again. Not easy. The only way I'd fully be able to commit to proper pronunciation in some of these playthroughs would just be to have like a poster on my wall of every single word and its correct pronunciation, which itself usually isn't that hard to find. Usually isn't that easy to find. Well, this does have a rare pronunciation guide.
Right.
Cool tunnel. Ooh, spooky ghosts. I like spooky ghosts. A series of pictographs, simple but clear, are carved on a column of this alcove. Figures of men and women with their arms raised are carved into the top of the column. Suits of armor in the same pose have been chiseled to the bottom. There's a few door options around here. Trap. I guess the giant skull was kind of a hint. But unfortunately for them, it completely missed. Hey. You can't hurt me, I'm Eder, the Unstoppable. Click. It died. The end.
Sure.
Oh, hi. Wait, wow, you guys just surprised me a bit.
My boat.
Wasn't quite ready for that reveal. And we're good.
Sure.
Is it time for hexagonal rock columns to start appearing? Time was a veil to the godless, no blessings to reap and no mercies to sow. Pictograms in this alcove portray a procession marching to an altar. A lone figure lies upon the altar, and another member of the procession drives a dagger into his heart. Something flows from the dying man into a white stone perched above the altar. Get in the room before they close us off. Now shoot him in the face. They'll never see it coming. Column of hieroglyphs shows men and women standing in a line and descending into a pool. The figures that emerge below it stand with outstretched arms and triumphantly serene expressions. So lots of ritual descriptions going on here. And evil ghosts. Don't forget the evil ghosts. Lots of evil ghosts. This place is a big fan of evil ghosts. Wow. Sitting within key. Leaving their bodies to offer their souls and forsaking the weakness of flesh and enfeebling the bone, the barbarian godless succumbed at last. Why? I don't know why there's a weird line break in the middle of each of these. Slightly weird. Huh. A man and a woman carved from lustrous Eder pour the contents of a vase at their feet. Oh yeah, that is two people. I couldn't tell what it was at first, the Adra statue. Oh, hi. Accidentally left her behind. That's a door. Place is huge. Could that be a puzzle mechanic over here? The images in this alcove depict a row of pale stones surrounding a suit of armor. Something flows from the stones and into the armor, imbuing it with a golden halo. Enchantment? Enchantment! Can't click on it. There we go. 4 egg-shaped stones sit atop short, narrow pedestals, all face an altar in the middle of the room. Any part of this interactive, though? Huh. I feel like they should call a small rain blight a drizzle. And now it seems that they have fizzled. Huh. Same statue again. I guess I'm also now behind the locked gate. Huh. So I needed a key from here to open this door, even though once I'm in here, the shortest path would just be to go through here. And then at that point I'm behind it anyway. That strikes me as a bit odd. Like maybe one of those doors was supposed to be more locked than it was. A phantom. Whoa, there's... I found the creepy room.
Let's go.
Audra grows from a central pillar that seems to spill down the steps. Luminous egg-shaped stones are nestled within the rippling Aedra. Coin flip, which pronunciation I'm gonna land on every time I say it. What a creepy council room, by the way. Yeah, there's just weird gems everywhere. At first glance, they look like a bunch of masks, especially since they're in a theater sort of situation. So I would interpret them as being like a series of audience members or council members or something. But then you realize they're just weird stones. Some kind of automatic growth process. Or however Audra works. Scenes from a battle appear on this column. An army of men in loincloths and hides is gathered, dwarfed by a dozen full suits of armor that loom over them. In the descending images, the armors crush the army. I think they're talking there about the invention of automats, putting an end to regular war. Or at least winning the shit out of some wars. That one also gets unlocked by the Within key. Okay, now the key makes more sense at least. There's a different door that's really supposed to be extra opened by it. For realsies. What do you think that water's like these days? In an unmanned, abandoned temple. How's that water quality going these days? Oh yeah, her reload time is the worst now. There's a long wait between shots. The core. 2 perception. This copper locket is the legacy of some of Ingwithin's early soul experiments. The crystal inside is filled with the essence of dozens of souls. While no one is entirely certain of its original purpose, it is believed that it was created in one of the first attempts to build and control automats. It is said that, unable to get out, some of the souls have lost their sanity, while others have formed a unique collective consciousness that kept the memory and talents of each alive. Those who wear it will swear they hear voices talking to them, guarding their actions. The locket is scratched and inlaid with simple neolid patterns. The crown base is decorated with a stylized bear head. Upon opening the locket, you see a 6-sided crystal that appears dark at first. However, as you gaze into it, it warms with an orange glow. Do you even have a necklace yet? Increased healing received is not the worst. You have a lot of perception already. You have a Scyther specific necklace. You have improved constant recovery. Yeah, a lot of necklaces that people have are specific to their class. 2 intellect. Unwavering resolve. Yep, intellect should be worth more than perception for that class. Yeah, I'm not sure that the healing received is worth enough necessarily. Can it be? Am I finally retiring Fulvano's items? Probably not. There's probably several more people still wearing some of them. Those items seem to have legs.
Yeah.
Especially the pants. His pants have legs for days. No. Goes through all that effort to turn into a stale guard just to have the guy he's about to fight instantly disintegrate in front of him. Fighters in iron, relentless and fierce as the thousands of foes. Images of men and women swinging hammers and heating iron over a forge fill this alcove. This looks like the things that were creating elementals in place Ad Nua. A blight forge. Someone's been up to some naughty.